Hello everyone and welcome back to Scrolls, where today we're going to attempt something a little different and something that's probably going to be very tricky for me to do in editing, but we're going to give it a go anyway. It's an interactive draft, or interactive judgment I guess. I got this idea from a Trump video which he did ages ago. Basically, I go through a draft giving my opinion on things, but I also allow you to give the option of picking a card of your choice, and I'm going to award you points for whatever decision you made. The points are just made up completely. I mean, there's no system I'm basing this off, it's just my opinion. We'll do it probably between -10 and +10 or whatever, so if you ended up with a good score at the end, you know, let me know. Just put it in the chat, whatever your score was, and we'll have some fun. And at the end I'll do a separate video of me actually doing the judgment run, but yeah, we're going to give this a go. Of course in Hearthstone it's a lot easier because it's all in the same faction, or same champion, or whatever you want to call it, and yeah, all the cards are sort of going in the deck regardless, whereas here it's just like clear choices sometimes, so it might not work as well, but we're going to give it a go. It'll be a fun experiment. So yeah, let's get to it. We start off with the first row. Now, obviously the options here are, we're looking at Righteous Partisan, Machine Divinator, most of all. If you pick Bunny, you're a fool. Cunning Flock, you know, it's a rare, so it must be good, right? No, there's no beast synergy really, especially in Judgement. You can't really base off a deck off beast just because you're not always guaranteed to get beast, so first picking Cunning Flock is just a huge mistake. If we saw Great Wolf, even then I don't think we would. If you picked it late, then yeah, it can go in, but now it's not a good first pick. Machine Divinator is a good one in Judgement, actually. You can pick up some good energy structures, but yeah, it's not a good one to lead off with. We want Righteous Partisan here, just because it's a solid creature, can draw us a card, and it's just a better pick than the rest of them. Okay, so for this row we have the options of Sister of a Bear, Watcher, Oblivion Seeker or Corpus Collector. We can see what we picked up down here is a Stormlight, so that kind of goes well with our Righteous Partisan pick there. We've also got a Snargle, Mudo Fighter, so Decay is looking like a decent pick here. We can go Mudo Fighter and Oblivion Seeker here. And also we've got the Cursed Presence on the second row. So I think, although Decay is probably the hardest faction to draft, we're going to want to pick a Decay card. Sister of a Bear, if we saw a solid Growth card here, I think we would go Sister of a Bear. It's because Growth is such an easy faction to draft in Judgement. But I think picking Oblivion Seeker is probably correct. Decay and Order is a pretty easy dual colour faction to draft in Judgement because we've got some decent common and uncommon. Are they commons? I can't remember. We've got some decent crossover cards in like Tethered Recruit. So yeah, we're going to pick a Decay card. Obviously we don't want the Watcher because it's difficult to base our deck off it. We need Necrogeddons and things like that, and there's not a lot of removal in this format, so no point in taking Watcher. So it's down to Corpus Collector or Oblivion Seeker, and Oblivion Seeker is just a better card, I think. Well, it allows us to cycle through our deck, and especially if we're going for sort of Decay and Order way of things, which we might do, it's better to have that and keep our options open. Okay, so Decay's looking like a good faction to have gone with, since we've got the Curse Monk and Langrid down here. So going off this row, Siege Cracker, we're just not in energy, so we don't really want to pick that. An Easy Alliance is a decent card, especially in this format. Buffing up attack is always nice. There's not a lot of removal, so we can get away with it. And also, because there's not a lot of removal, we can also use it as removal on our opponent's creatures, so that's not a bad choice. Blade Husk is a decent creature, 5/3/2 for 2. That's a lot of attack. Problem is, I think it's too slow for us, especially like when we're facing a Growth deck and have lots of 1 countdown units. Cursed Presence, Curse 3 isn't bad. There's going to be a bit of poison, so it's a tough choice actually, this one. Really a choice between, I don't know if I'm a fan of Cursed Presence because you do need a poison like Brain Lice, Infectious Blight. Infectious Blight's rare, Brain Lice you're rarely going to get. So here I think we are going to go with the Cursed Presence, just because it is effectively removal in a sense. 3 damage for 2, You can think of it that way. It might not synergise with a poison, but if we get some, fantastic. And if we don't, well, we can still use it on opponent's creatures and take things down. Okay, so on this row, obviously we have the Storm Knight, Snargle, Ellen Vital, and Mudo Fighter. We're not really looking at Ellen Vital or Snargle here. Ellen Vital's obviously a bit rubbish. Snargle is a decent creature in this format, but we're not in energy, and there's no decent energy picks coming up. There's Gun Automaton, yes, but we've got DK cards on this row, so we're not really looking at that. This row is a bit naff, but we'll come to that later. So the choice here is between Storm Knight or Mudo Fighter. Storm Knight is definitely the best creature out of these two. It's sort of a question whether we want to go Mudo Fighter because we've got the 2 Decay Scrolls already, or Storm Knight just because we can keep our options open with Order. I'm swaying towards Mudo Fighter here just because we do have the Decay Scrolls on the next line. We're not necessarily going to be in order here. We can still change our minds and go Decay and something else. So we're going to pick with the Mudo Fighter because it's in our main faction. Okay, so this way we've got Cursemonger, Gun Automaton, Catapultal, Glue, Languid. We don't really want the energy scrolls because we're not in energy and there's no energy picks coming up. So it's a question between Cursemonger or Languid. Cursemonger's a really solid creature, can curse our opponent's units. It's a 3/2/4 range attack, not bad. Languid has draw a card, nerf opponent's creatures. So it's pretty much down to personal choice. If we look at what's coming up, we've got Somata Shift, which could be a decent pick there. Bitterroot, Frostgale. So there's nothing really coming up to signal that there's any synergy, especially in other factions. So I think just to keep our curve solid, we're going to take the Cursemonger here. Okay, so this row we've got Pilgrim's Feet, Somata Shift, Bitterroot, and Illthorn. On this row down here, we've picked up Rattle Him and Our Heart's Disciple, so Decay is obviously our main colour here. This row we've got Frostgale, which is pretty good. Because we're probably going to go with a Frostgale pick here, maybe. Basing it off that, I think we're actually going to take the Somata Shift here. You can build a really powerful GD deck with Somata Shift. It's not necessarily going to go in the deck, but I think the chance of us running Bitterroot is pretty low. And I do like to keep my options open, so I think we can take the Somata Shift here. Okay, so looking at this bottom row here, we've got Stormlight, Winged Soldier, Puppet Soldier, and Cursed Peasant, so we've got some decent Decay picks still. This row, none of them are Decay, obviously. We've got Order and Growth Scrolls. If we are going to splash, it's better to be in... no, I don't know really. Champion Ring we don't really want to splash for. Metam Psychosis we don't want to splash for. Faith Blessing we don't want to splash for. Frostgale's pretty much easy pick. If we get a Return to Nature Frostgale, then that can work together nicely. We can get some ramp, and obviously we can wipe the board, and we don't mind things dying as much as our opponent would, so we'll take the Frostgale. Okay, so this time we've got Rattle Him, Our Heart's Disciple. Obviously we're not in energy, so we don't care about the Incendiaries or Golem Skin. Rattle Him can go get us a Lingering spell. We don't have any Lingering spells in our deck, we can't see any coming up. So the obvious pick here is Our Heart's Disciple. It's also a decent 3-drop, so that's not bad at all. This row, Winged Soldier, Stormlights, decent Order Scrolls. So we could have built a decent Order deck actually. But Decay is where we're going. We've got Cursed Peasants and Puppet Soldier. Puppet Soldier we can't really set off unless it's with a Horn of Ages. Cursed Peasants, I don't know if we need 2, is the thing. Puppet Soldier can just be good, just at saving ourselves. So I think it's more down to the fact that we don't need the second Cursed Peasants here because we haven't got any poison removal yet. I think we're just going to take the Puppet Soldier just as a way of dealing with opponent's big threats if it comes down to it. Okay, so we're picking up some good things here. 2 decent options actually. Winged Sorceress, not going to bother with. Kind of giving up on the Order plan for now. If we're going to go for anything, it'll be Growth. We've got a decent scroll here, and Eye of Eagle can give us some draw, thin out our deck. but we've got a Flesh Animator, another 4 cost body, 3/4, can count down our undead units, which I don't think we've got any yet, but we can pick up some, so we'll take the Flesh Animator here. Okay, another pretty simple choice here. It's between Draining Mist and Regenerature, although Regenerature is really, really good, in my opinion, especially in this format, just increasing the health by 2. We can ping off some damage as well. I like it, because I'm a yellow decay player as well. But Draining Mist, easy removal here choice. Well, not removal, slows our opponent down and buys us some time. So Draining Mist is a pick we're going to make. Okay, so next row isn't an easy choice actually. We've got the Pillar of Disease, which is in our faction, or we've got a Vengeful Vator if we do decide to go Growth. Especially since we've picked up a Rat King here, I think going to Growth might be a decent option. We're not necessarily going to play Blade Husk in this deck, because it is a bit weak. So thinking about the Rat King here, I think we're going to take the Vengeful Vator. Just allows us to keep our options open. Pillar of Disease isn't brilliant. Take the Festering Freak here probably. But because we're looking to maybe play that Rat King, we're going to take the Vengeful Vator here, it just helps us out with that plan. Okay, so looking at this row, we've got Illform Reversal, Festering Freak and Grounds of Fallen. Festering Freak's the obvious choice here. Decent creature, poison our opponent's units, and it's in decay, so definitely taking that. Okay, so now it's come down to the Rat King row. We've got the Blade Husk, but it is weak, and we do want to maybe go into Growth now that we're picking up some decent growth scrolls, especially looking at we've got Nog coming up, and maybe Frostbeard as well. So I think because we're looking to go into Growth as well, we're going to take the Rat King here. It's also a decent scroll. It's not a wrong choice to take Blade Husk and really stick with Decay, but I like to keep my options open, and I think Rat King here is a pretty decent pick. Okay, as for this row, Bitterroot or Nog or Illthorn. Vicious Strike is obviously out. Choice between Bitterroot or Nog. We're going to take the Nog. 2/2/3 for 2. Not too bad. We play it turn 3 if we go with Wild. So we'll take my Nog here. This row we've got a choice between Regenerature and Frostbeard. If we look at our stats, we're doing okay for creatures. We've got 9 total. 8 really if you count it that way. So yeah, Regenerature is okay, but yeah, we'll go with Frostbeard just because it is a creature and not necessarily going to play it, but helps for the art curve. Okay, this lane, Monstrous Brood, if you pick that you're insane, just because we're not necessarily going to have many creatures. We're probably going to have a few rats actually. We've got a Rat King, so we could get some benefit off that, but yeah, we're not going to just play Monstrous Brood because it's a bit rubbish. Violent Dispersal, we're not in energy, so we don't want that. Crimson Bull is a very, very good option. Buff up our units with 2 attack, but Unleash Inner Power can be decent removal, set health to 2. We don't really have any removal to combine with it, so I think we're just going to take the Crimson Bull here, just for the extra offensive option. Okay, this lane, Powerbound we're not in order, Storm Knight we're not in order, so it's between Mire Shambler and Earthbond. Earthbond gives us magic resistance 1 and +2 health, where Mire Shambler is a 1 cost decay unit, pretty aggressive. And I think we're going to want to be quite aggressive with this deck, so we're going to take the Mire Shambler. It's just a really, really good creature. Okay, looking at this lane, it's not an easy choice. Obviously we're going to discard the Copper Automaton here. Oakblood is incredible in this format. It's going to be really hard for our opponent to take down any unit that's been given +6 health. But we're going to struggle to get up to 4 growth. We've got 1 Rat King. I think that's about as far as we really want to go, especially with no Return to Natures yet. Malevolent Gaze. Target creature's move is decreased by 2 until the end of a turn it gets Curse 2. We've got some Curse with Curse present, so we don't really need that as much. Making the move go to decrease by 2 for one turn isn't too bad though. Fuel to Vigour, I don't think we're aggro enough to really pick that. So I think it's down to choice between Malevolent Gaze and Oak Blood, and my personal preference is to take the Gaze here, just because we are in the dual colour here, so Oak Blood is harder for us to take advantage of, and I think Gaze is going to be just a cheaper option for our deck, so we'll take the Gaze here. Okay, well, yeah, this is pretty clear cut, but if we were in order, holy moly, we would have had a choice. Fave Chains, Knight Sergeant, Honourable General. Probably would have taken the Sergeant if I was in order. But we're not. We're in decay, so we'll take the Cluster Hex here. Not necessarily going to play it unless we don't have much choice. But, you know, giving things Curse 1 isn't too bad. Okay, so we've got some decent growth scrolls here and a decay scroll. We've got Frostbeard, Berserker and Husk. Looking at our growth scrolls, if I just show you what we've got so far, we've got some Master Shift, Frostgale, Vengeful Vator, Rat King, Nog, Frostbeard and Crimson Bull. I don't really want another Frostbeard in my deck, nor do I really want Husk just because it's so poor. So I think even though it costs 5, we're going to go for Berserker. Might just be able to afford another top end unit. Not necessarily going to play it, but I think we can afford to put it in just as a one-off. Okay, so looking at this, where we've got Earthen Testament and Sister of a Bear. Earthen Testament, we haven't really got any enchantments to put on our units. Thunder Surge, Inferno Blast, we're not an energy, so we're kind of forced to take the Sister of a Bear here. Fastens out our deck a bit, gives us a 4-drop in growth. So we're kind of going into more growth than I originally intended. But it's just where the cards are going, so we'll take the Sister of a Bear here. Okay, next up we have Lifestealer, Earthen Mirth, New Order's Gravelock Outcast, so we're going to get rid of Outcast and New Order straight away because we're not in those two factions. Lifestealer is an incredibly good decay scroll. If we look at our decay creatures, or just decay stuff, we've got a decent curve in decay. It's not very low, we are lacking decay creatures on the low end, so hopefully try and fix that later on. But I think we're going to take the Lifestealer. We're not interested in the Earthen Mirth. We don't have too much synergy with enchantments on our deck, and we just want the solid creatures, so we'll take the Lifestealer. Here, we've only got one pick in Underdog Spite. Creatures you control attack 2 or less have their countdown decreased by 1. We're not going to play it, but you know, what's the point in taking anything else? Okay, as for this lane, we've got Gravehawk, Grizzlygraft, Ashrunner, Righteous Partisan. Grizzlygraft is a decent decay enchantment, can really surprise our opponents, we can buff up things. Namely good on Rot Eater and Harvester, however we don't have any on our deck, and as I said before, we do want to try and lower our curve here because we are a bit low on the old creatures, so that costs a little bit. So we're going to take the Gravehawk here just because it's a 2-drop. Okay, again we're looking for cheap creatures and we got them in Slayer Vestige or Nog. We've got a Windcleaver and Spark, which we can just disregard right now. So it's a choice between Slayer Vestige and Nog, and we can take the Slayer Vestige here because we want a 2-drop in Decay, which we haven't got yet. And also we've got the Flesh Animator here, so even though it's got 3 countdown, we do have the Undead synergy going on, so it should be able to attack more often than it's used to. Okay, here we've got Cursemonger, Viscera Sage, Squire and Brother of a Wolf. Looking at our deck, if I just look at creatures, ooh, that's the wrong one, type creatures. Although Cursemonger is definitely the better creature here, we have got so many 4-drops. We've got Sister of a Bear, Flesh Animator, Cursemonger. We've all got 3 and quite a few 5-drops, so I think we still want to try and lower our curve a bit. So we're going to take the Viscera Sage here, even though Cursemonger is so good. Okay, not a lot going on this row. We've got the Wetland Ranger, decent cards over here, Wings Charge and Gravelock Guard, but we're not in either faction, so we're going to take the Wetland Ranger. And if you choose anything else, you are weird. Okay, on this row we've got Frostbeard, Nog or Ripper. Nog's good, but I think Ripper is definitely, in my opinion, it's one of the best one-drops, if not the best, just in terms of stats. Obviously look at Fate of the Wild, but Ripper just on a standalone creature is insane, so that should really buy some early advantage early on. Early advantage early on, what am I about? But yeah, Ripper is the pick. This lane, yeah, pretty poor for us. We'll take a Monstrous Boo just because it is in decay, and in case we don't have enough cards to fill up our deck, we'll have to put it in, but yeah, we're not happy about it. Okay, as for this lane, really decent creatures here as well. Wings Warder, Hide Smuggler, not bad at all, but we're not in most factions, so we're going to take the Kinfoot Ranger here. Okay, now we're talking. We picked up the Soul Steel, so this is our first bit of proper removal. Or we got the Heart's Disciple, just as an extra creature, but because we're picking up a Rot Eater probably next, or a Festering Freak, or Sister of a Fox, don't really need any more creatures, so we'll definitely take the Soul Steel. So this isn't actually an easy choice. Sister of a Fox draws us a card, Festering Freak poisons our opponent's units, and Rot Eater is insane. So we can be justified in picking any of these here. I prefer the Rot Eater just because it is such a solid creature, and 3 attack, pretty good, so take the Rot Eater. Okay, now here, Junkyard, Vigor Extraction, Shroud of Life. If we were in Order and Decay, Vigor Extraction would definitely be the easy pick here, but we're not. We're in Decay and Growth. So, choice between Shroud of Life and Junkyard. We do have some rats with Rat King. We haven't got any others, unfortunately. Shroud of Life kind of does protect us slightly. We're not really excited about any pick here. Probably not going to put it in our deck, but we'll take the Shroud of Life just because it stands a greater chance of being played on with Junkyard. Okay, this lane we've got Eclipse, Mind Shambler, Lord Darkling. Eclipse can help fix our resources a bit, I guess, but we're not really going to go too far ahead in growth, so that's not really needed. Lord Darkling can help finish off our opponent's units. Decent 2-drop. Mind Shambler, decent 1-drop. There's not a lot of removal. So here we're going to take the Lord Darkling just because it's another 2-drop in decay, which I think we need. Okay, this lane, not a lot going on. We've got the Leeching Ring, pretty much it. Squire, Wing Soldier, Booster Strike, nah. So, Leeching Ring it is. Right, as for this lane, we've got some really decent picks coming up here. So, Dark Strike doesn't more Gravelock Guard, we disregard, we'll go for Pillar of Disease. Okay, this lane's interesting. We've got Locking Brood and Mangy Rat, which we disregard straight away just because we've got 2 clear better options, Sister of Fox and Anima Conduit. Ooh, the phone's going off. I think we've got enough 2-drops now to really keep our curve as low as it needs to be. So we can take the Anima Conduit here, and also it's an incredibly good scroll, so I'm not so upset in pitting this. As for this lane, Bitterroot, Warding Stone, Machinated Clocklining, we've got to take the Bitterroot, although all these 3 scrolls, you know, incredibly good in other decks, we can't pick them, so we've got to take the Bitterroot. Right, this is an interesting one. Mudo Fighter, Boghound, Frostbeard, Skythorn, all are capable of being played on a deck. We'll start off by just getting rid of the Frostbeard from our minds because we don't need it anymore. We'll look at our creatures. Oh, why do I put F? Type creatures. I wish we could order these. We'll find a way of just fiddling around. But yeah, look what we've got here. We've got decent curve actually. It's not too bad. Mudo Fighter. What 3 drops have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Really 3, just because we're not probably going to play with Frostbeard, and we've got lots of 2s actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So I think the pick is going to be between Mood Fighter and Skythorn. Skythorn, we do have some decent synergy. Actually, we've got Rat King. Allows us to draw a card. 4 health is good as well, but we want to try and be a bit aggressive. I think we'll take the Mood Fighter. Actually, or Skythorn. On second thoughts, we are lacking a bit of health. Skythorn will offer us a bit of protection. So I don't think there's anything wrong with picking Skythorn or Mudo Fighter here. I think we're going to take the Skythorn actually, just because we have fewer growth scores and decay, and we want to try and make it a bit more even. So take the Skythorn. It's also got 4 health, which is pretty nice, and offers us the defense we need. Okay, so we're coming up to the final 5 picks now. Plating, Incendiaries, Castballs of Goo can go. We'll pick the Outcast Rebel. Probably not going to play it, but well, we're not playing Energy, are we? Again, some rubbish here. Inferno Blast, Monstrous Brood, Copper Automaton. We'll just take the Service Age. Final 3 picks. Masmawell, we have no poison, so that's unfortunate. We've got the Striped Fangbear, which is pretty nice. Snuggle Omelette, Ilthorn, rubbish, so we'll take the Striped Fangbear. Next we've got Iveagle or Ragged Wolf. Now we've got quite a few creatures in our deck, so I don't think Iveagle's going to help, but Ragged Wolf can snipe off early Vators. We have got Curse in our deck, so it'll really work with that. Curse Presence, Ragged Wolf does 4 damage, so we'll take the Ragged Wolf here. Pretty clear pick in my opinion. Alright, and then finally we've got Puppet Soldier or Animover. Obviously when Animover you want Scavenger Constructs and Neck Gunners in your deck, but we do have Rot Eaters, or one Rot Eater. That's not a decent creature. That's not a bad creature to put it on either. Puppet Soldier, we've only got 1. We don't really need 2, so we'll take the Animover. It's not necessarily going to make the deck, but yeah, not a bad creature. Not a bad spell. Okay, so now it's time for us to build our deck. Obviously we're not in order, so we can get rid of our 1 order scroll, which is Righteous Partisan. And what I like to do, instead of adding things to my deck, I like to take scrolls away. So we're just going to add everything into our deck. We need to thin this down by 14 scrolls, so we need to get rid of all the rubbish. So Monstrous Brood is rubbish. Shroud of Unlife, rubbish. Leeching Ring, rubbish. Underdog Spite, rubbish. Bitterroot, rubbish. Okay, so we've got rid of all the rubbish. 25 creatures, that is a lot of creatures. So we're going to want to try and get rid of some of them. Also the structures, we can get rid of as well. Not really interested in Puppet Soldier. 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, whack. Cluster Hex we don't really have too much synergy with. I want to go on a beatdown plan. Frostgale can be a bit of a backup, I guess. Yeah, I think we can get rid of Smarter Shift. We didn't really pick up anything good with that to go with, so we'll just get rid of that. Animover, no Scavenger Construct, so we can get rid of it. Got a 1-drop, 1-drop, 2-drop, 2-drop. Reservoir Sage, meh. Gravehawk has no enchantment, so we'll just get rid of that. Outcast Rebel is really slow, we'll get rid of that. Next down to 34. Pillar of Disease. We'll get rid of Frostbeard, actually, definitely get rid of Frostbeard. Keep the Skyform because we've got no 3-drops in growth anymore. Vengeful Vator, Nog, Kinfet Rangers, not bad. They're all pretty decent. We've got to go 3 scrolls now. Cluster Hex. Kind of want to keep Cluster Hex actually, just help us a bit. Relevant Gaze. Relevant rather. Target creatures move is increased by 2. Oh, I'm not too sure. The things that stand out to me here are Pillar of Disease, Cluster Hex, Reservoir Sages, Relevant Gaze. You know, that's 4 right there. Got 12 growth scrolls right now. I think we'll be justified in reducing our growth curve by 1 here by taking out a Berserker. That way we don't have to sack for Wild as much. If we go for 5, we'd have 2 wild and then 3 growth, which is just awkward. So we're getting rid of that there. We don't need to sacrifice for that extra growth. That gives us 2 scrolls to get rid of. Regular wolf, got rid of 1-drops. 1-drops are fine. Yeah, we're going to want to get rid of creatures here. I think we can get rid of 1 spell, maybe. Let's get rid of a Pillar of Disease. I just don't really like it. Sever Sage is decent in this format, actually. It's not as bad because there's not as much removal and we can actually get a bit of draw. We'll get rid of the Cluster Hex. I don't think it'll be as good. We've got Curse Presence and Malevolent Gaze for more curse, so we don't really need the Cluster Hex here. And that's it. We're down to 30 scrolls. It's not a bad deck. Built better, built worse. I think we've done pretty well considering what we had, so we're going to save that as interactive draft. Great work to begin using this deck. Hit the Judgement button in the arena. Okay, well if you want to see that, you're going to have to watch the next video. So, thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it worked out well. Remember to post your scores in the comment section below, and remember to watch the next video where I do the full arena run, or Judgement run. Oh heck, I said arena, don't hurt me. So yeah, we'll see you then. Goodbye.